Hello everyone, this is Nike1 bringing you another StarCraft 2 commentary. Today we'll be looking at a game between LiquidTLO, spawning at the top on the map Metalopolis, and his opponent is FnaticFenix, spawning on the left in the close ground positions. First of all, some stats about these players. LiquidTLO is obviously from the team Liquid. He's a very famous player from Germany. And just recently, he's been ranked number 2 globally on ladder with 3,881 points, so that's 668 wins, 461 losses. So that is very good stats. Number 2 in the world right now. His opponent, FnaticFenix, I actually couldn't find his stats on the ladder, on the ranking sites. However, he is a really well-known player back in the Brood War days, and now he's been switching over to SC2. He's a player from Peru, and he recently won 3rd place at the DreamHack LAN tournament, which is a really big accomplishment for him. The map they're playing on is Metalopolis, and they're spawning in the close positions here. So this opens up quite a few strategies that are quite a few obvious strategies. So first of all, they can do obviously marine pushes, no gas marine pushes, because push distance is so short. The marines get to the opponent's base really fast, and if the opponent goes something like fast expand or the 1-on-1 build, then the pure marine push can really do a lot of heavy damage in the beginning of the game. But at this point, it doesn't look like that's going to happen, as both players thrown down the gas. Most likely they'll be playing a straight up macro game instead of something cheesy. Over here at TLO, you can see him micing around his workers. TLO is actually quite known for him actually individually microing each worker, just to give them that little bit of edge in terms of economy. We see here TLO's first scouting the close air positions, and obviously finding that Phoenix is not there. And then TLO will probably turn the scout around, and we see here that Phoenix is actually scouting in the right direction with his scout, and will no doubt find TLO. If you see in the production tab right now, the production tabs are actually almost identical. They're going exact same build, which is expected because Terran can only go so many builds in the beginning of the game. We see here that Phoenix is running a double gas. So a very common build that Phoenix goes is actually goes double gas and then goes straight up to starports. He goes double starports and then goes and then attacks with banshees with cloak. And then before that, he leads off with the tiny marine Hellion push just to give some pressure, just to put on some pressure to his opponent. We see here that TLO threw down a factory. But not the double gas, so most likely TLO will be going some sort of infantry heavy force. Like right now, he is pushing down with 3 marines just to put some early game pressure. Right now, Phoenix only has 1 marine to guard his base, and so no doubts this marine is gonna die. There's no escape for this marine, and yeah, there's not much. Oh no, Phoenix actually made a Reaper. Primarily for scouting purposes, and with his Reaper, he should be able to hold off this push. Obviously, with the SCVs here, killing the 3 marines here should not be that big of a problem. You need to, so he's microing his Reapers, just outside the range of the marine, just dancing around a little bit, make sure. And when a marauder spawns, the marine's definitely dead. So we have TLO going for Hellion marines. Obviously, TLO saw that Phoenix was going marines, so he's building the Hellion just to counteract that. We see, so indeed Phoenix will go for his classic build, the 1-on-1 build into double starports. He will be throwing down a double starport pretty soon, I guess. He's gonna go for cloak, and then that's obviously harass TLO's base. It's interesting because neither player has gone for an early expansion youth. Normally at these high level games, it's very common to see a player going for early expansion, but we obviously see that either player is going for that right now. We do see that TLO is switching over to tanks because he saw that that Phoenix was going for marauders, and so tanks will basically annihilate marauders, especially if they're in siege mode. In fact, they'll actually annihilate any basically infantry army. And we see here Phoenix doing his usual banshee harassment. We see the or rather not banshee harassment, his Hellion harassment. And we see here that Phoenix is going for starport with a cloaking. Only 1 starport. Most likely he will build a couple of Banshees and then switch the tech lab, or no, and then he will basically lift the starport, start building medevacs for his infantry, and then leave the starport for a factory or barracks to produce more marauders. So right now there is basically a Hellion here, just looking out for any armies that TLO might send out. TLO is actually consolidating his tank count. He has not researched siege tech, so these tanks will not do splash damage, which will help Phoenix's eventual ground push. As looking for the unit tab, we see that Phoenix does have one Banshee out. And where is that Banshee? Oh, over here. Yep. So the Banshee, the Cloak Banshee, is harassing TLO's economy. And here we see TLO bring over one Viking just to fend off that Banshee. Although I'm not really sure what he's planning to do with this. He scanned, but the scan is being wasted. Yep, the scan is being wasted because the Viking, just one Viking by itself, does not have enough DPS to take down the Banshee. Yeah, to take down the Banshee before the Banshee runs away. Obviously, if the Banshee is well micro, there's no way that a Viking could take it down with this one scan. You really need some Marines in order to hold off this Banshee harassment. We see here TLO continuing to produce tanks, and basically sending his Vikings just to scout to see if there are any stray Banshees around that he can pick off. He has the tanks in middle line in case there's a drop. Yep. We can see here that TLO is throwing down an armory to get Thors. Obviously, Thors are really good against Terrans. Thors do extra damage to the tanks that FnaticFenix is getting, and really, if there is a basically head-on clash of the armies, you send the Thor in first, and then the Thors will actually tank a lot of siege tank shots, and then so your infantry won't melt away instantly. The Thors are an expensive unit, but you know, basically the benefit they provide is really good for their price. So we hear that TLO is finally pushing out. TLO not getting an expansion. Maybe TLO is just going for some sort of one base push, whereas Phoenix has thrown down an expansion already. So right now, looking at the unit tab, or rather looking at army tab, we see that TLO is ahead, or rather is behind in supply, because of the Banshee harassment beginning, and we see that. And we see basically the Cloak Banshees are indeed deflecting TLO's army. So TLO just wasting his scans away, you know, scanning and not really taking out the Banshees. So right now I don't see how TLO. Yep. So TLO GG's out of this game. So basically this TLO should have actually expanded himself, and then basically tried to beat Phoenix in a macro game because of the initial Banshee harassment. The Banshee did a lot of damage to TLO's economy, and at the same time TLO's scans were wasted. So again, he wasted what could be mules, the energy that could be mules on basically not doing anything. So yeah, basically if TLO expanded, he could have had a chance in the game, but with this many Cloak Banshees, I don't see how any. Basically, TLO just does not have enough scans to deal with the Banshees. So yeah, that's it for this game, and I'll see you guys next time.